All right, I'd like to call the Plan Commission meeting for Monday, June 10th, 2024 at 6 p.m. to order. Roll call, please.
Ronan,
Here.
Dami, Eason,
Yes.
Gurnt is excused.
I'm online.
Fantastic.
I'm sorry. I was supposed to go to our a function for our business or company tonight for the employees, but I'm sick. But I want to attend here.
Okay, and then the Hoffman is not here. Jordan
Here.
and Mumper.
Here.
All right, public comment. Do we have any publics from the any comments from the public? Jesus. Michael, anybody online?
Not for this. There's a Tim Danon
Yeah,
online.
Tim is for the site plan.
Okay.
Second time, any public comments? Third time, any comments? Hearing none, we'll move on to minutes from previous meetings. Item number 3, minutes from the May 13th, 2024 PC meeting.
Move to approve.
Motion by Zagami,
Second.
second by Deason. On the question? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
So carried. Communications, disclosures, and recusals. Members of the body should make any required disclosures or recusals during this time. Do we have any? Hearing none, we'll move on to item number 4. Written communications received. Nothing.
We have one.
All right, public hearings, none. Unfinished business, none. New business, project number 20240134, special exception sign permit request by Graphic House Incorporated on behalf of Wassa Supply Company to exceed the maximum number and maximum permitted area per sign for on-premise parking area and on-premise directional signs in the LI Limited Industrial Zoning District at 7102 Commerce Drive and 8011 Technology Drive, PIN number 192-2808-221-0132 and PIN number 192-2808-2320945.
Yes, thank you, Chair Cronin and members of the commission. So the item before you is for Wassa Supply Company. They have 2 non-adjacent building locations that work in concert with one another, and the location at 7102 Commerce Drive has recently undergone a 122,262 square foot building addition, which has changed some of their circulation pattern for truck traffic. So they are applying for a special exception for signage at both locations. At 7102 Commerce Drive, they're requesting a total of 11 wall signs and 1 freestanding sign at the vehicle entrance. And then at 8011 Technology Drive, they are requesting a total of 18 wall signs. And they are 6 square feet in area. And as are the 11 requested at 7102 Commerce Drive. So the special exception process, my understanding is it wasn't always in the sign code, but it was included for instances such as this, where it doesn't meet necessarily the traditional standards, but conditions do warrant a special exception for different reasons. It can be, in this case, it's for size that exceeds the typical required maximums. So there are criteria that must be met to warrant a special exception. And those are listed under the RFC page 2 of this item. So the proposed exception for larger signage is due to the larger scale of the site, buildings, and the truck traffic entering and exiting the site is the reason. There's consistency with the comprehensive plan. There's no negative impacts expected as a result. This site size is consistent with surrounding sites in this area. And the proposed signage is consistent with the existing signage and creates increased visibility. Again, it's proportional with the scale of the subject site and the surrounding area. And there's no anticipated hazardous or harmful effects as a result of the proposal. So staff is recommending approval. And I will turn it back over to the commission.
All right, thank you. Anybody have any questions?
Given that it's an exception, do we need to specifically address those 8 conditions or agree with them, or can we just move to make a motion?
You can, I'm sorry.
I was gonna say, I think we can just go ahead and make the motion.
Yep. Yep.
That's already been.
Yep, these criteria are established to substantiate the special exception, but if you're moving to approve, then you're kind of agreeing with the way the criteria have been analyzed.
Just as a point of order, there is, under recommendation, there is one condition that staff was asking on it for whoever's gonna make a motion. I didn't know if that's something that you wanted to include.
So is there a number, specific number sign they can have on their side?
So the proposed, this approval would be agreeing to what is proposed, which is the 11 wall signs at the 7102 Commerce Drive location, a freestanding sign, and then 18 wall signs at the Technology Drive location. So this approval specifically for that request.
It's kind of like a sign plan for the development, similar to what you did a few months ago, not last month with Green Hack. It's just the hospital has a sign plan. It's just they require a lot more signage than usual because of the bigger buildings, more buildings.
Traffic control this.
So I wasn't sure we can control what they do on their property. That's what I was wondering.
Yeah, there's regulations, so there's it's all based on the square footage of the sign for them. The square footage of the wall that the sign's going on, there's limitations.
I think they've got signs already, they're just making them bigger.
Yeah,
for
these are just
visibility.
things that are bigger than usual on our site. Cause usually we don't have anything with directional signs, but these are kind of outside the norm of a size for a directional sign. It's not something that you would see like pulling into McDonald's or something like that, or the bank. Those usually are exempt. These are a lot larger, so we bring them to you so that there's a record of approval.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure.
I'll make a motion that we approve as presented with the staff's recommendation.
In one condition.
Yeah, well, with the staff's recommendation, that was
So you're making a motion to approve, I just want to clarify, to approve with the recommendation that sign permits are required to be obtained for all purposes of signage.
correct as presented by and approved by staff.
Okay.
I'll second it.
Thank you.
So motion by Dixon, second by Mumper on the question. Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? So carried. All right, item number 6, project number 2024-0137, site plan approval for a building addition at B&D Warehouse, 7005 Ricky Val Street. Pin number 192-2808-233-0954. So we've got 2 subsections. Subsection A, request for waiver from section 94.12.08, parent 10, provision for sidewalk. And request for waiver from section 94.12.09, parent 8, potential reduction in automobile parking.
So staff has been acting as the site plan approval authority for this project. It's a building addition at B&D Warehouse in Business Park North at 7005 Ricky Val Street. In doing the review, there's the 2 waivers are actually things that the Plan Commission has to provide some kind of direction on or approval of. It's basically listed in there. It doesn't matter who the site plan approval authority is at the time. The first one is a waiver to not require the addition of sidewalk to the site plan. And looking at this is probably a section of the code we need to do a little work with, so that'll probably be coming back. because it's probably something that Michael can take care of based off of the plans that the Plan Commission and the board puts in place. That wouldn't require us to come in all the time for a sidewalk waiver. In this case, there is no sidewalk there. There's nothing to go out to. It's not planned to be put in. So the areas that I have in red there are kind of the points where the Plan Commission can make a waiver or waive that requirement. Staff is recommending that we waive that one. Waiver 2 is in regards to the parking. This is kind of a situation where in the cases of these large scale warehouses, the parking pretty much there's always required too much. So Tim is online. He is the owner. He did put in the required documentation about it. But basically they would be required to have 75 parking stalls at the site. The Plan Commission can waive to 25% of the normal requirement. So that would be 20. Originally they had 20. If you look at the site plan, they're not changing that area of the parking lot, but I don't believe that is actually striped right now. So in the plans, it did not meet the requirements of the code, which is the 10 by 18. So they came back, originally they had the 20 spots at the 10 by 18. They came back with they had them at 9 by 20. They've come back in with the 10 by 18 and that brought them down to 18. So that's kind of the question is if the Plan Commission is okay with waiving the requirements for the parking. And also if you want them to add the 2 spaces back in and go back to their original the 9 by 18.
How many people do they typically have on site at that facility during the day?
They had it in there, there's like
Hey,
3.
Yeah, this is Tim. I'll just jump in and give a little bit of a feel.
So just a quick point of order, Tim, can you state your full name and address for the record, please?
Sure, Tim Danon, and the business address is 7005 Ricky Vale Street in Weston.
Thank you.
So yeah, I appreciate everybody's listening here, and I apologize I can't be there. My daughter is turning 14, and right after this meeting, we're gonna have dinner here. So my daughter only turns 14 once, so I want to be here for her. So apologize I'm not there in person, but Jim and Brian, I believe are there, as I can see in the room, that are representing me as well on the construction side and the environmental side. So I bought the business back in 2019 from Mark Peter. And so a lot of what you see is kind of what was there as far as the parking. I don't know. Like I basically it is what it is. We've done some continue to grow the business but really I believe I have the opportunity to grow the business. That's why I'm looking at this addition. So and just a quick side note, the business was actually started in 1950. I'm a 3rd generation, and next year will be 75 years, but Green Bay is the primary operation, the mailing address, but I'm really looking to continue to grow the Weston operation. I've got banking relationships with Peoples and certainly some contacts. My attorney is Reuter Ware out of Wausau, so I've got connections, and this is something that I'm doing for the long term. My youngest is 11, and so again, Lord willing, I want to be doing this for a lot longer. So anyway, to get more specific though, on the last question, there are 2 people currently that man the entire operation. And typically when I go to Weston, which is usually once or twice a week, myself, and then there's generally one other gentleman that shows up for a small part of the day. So 4 people, maybe 5 if I have a guest over. But that's as many spots as we've used the entire time. I mean, certainly you can have a few more if I have a few more people, but generally there's two to three cars there. And that's it currently. So if I add, I may be adding another person to help operate this facility or operate the addition, which we'd have 1 more parking spot. So I really don't see a lot of to the point that was made earlier, I don't have a need for a lot of parking. There just aren't that many individuals in.
You still there, Tim?
Locked up.
Yes,
Okay, kind of cut out there for a sec.
yes,
So page 32 of the
yes.
is kind of synopsis of his parking needs.
Okay.
I'm sorry, did it break up? Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you okay.
Okay.
I think the parking is supposed to be about 10 by 20. We got a 9 by 18.
10 by 18.
10
The,
by 20.
the current plan is the code that's in there right now.
It's to code minus, we just don't need that many parking spaces.
Yeah, so if
Okay.
you got room, why don't you just make it 10 by 20?
So they're 10 by 18.
Right. Is it 10 by
which
18?
The old one was, they proposed 9, which was the original. So there is some places in the village that have like a 9 by 20.
But they didn't let me do it. That's what I'm saying that. I was gonna put 9 foot then.
I know,
increase the number.
but
They said
you
no.
just need to be aware that they lost 2 spots
Mhm.
Going to 10 feet
going to
wide,
the 10.
but there's still 18 spots there and they've only got 3 or 4 people.
Right.
I mean,
Yes, so.
in my opinion, it's more than
They didn't
sufficient.
grant The waiver.
That's not the
That's why it's
question at all, really. The question is size of the parking.
Are you talking the individual parking spaces? Okay,
That's what I'm talking about.
here. It meets.
At the number of the parking, with the number of people they have, that's just fine. But I'm saying the parking size should be 10 by 20. That's what they made me do it just last summer, not last summer when we were painting the parking, they said, no, we gotta have 10 by 20.
10 by 20 or 10 by 18?
Well, 18 is you gotta look at the car, see how long it is.
No, I was just saying, what is? the
He's just
current
wondering what the
standard? Is it
code
18 or
is.
10 by 20.
It is 10 by 20?
At least that's what they told me.
Because she's got it in here, it's 10 by 18.
I'm looking.
That's why I'm questioning.
Yep.
while Jen's looking, we want to discuss the sidewalk? Does anybody have any issues there?
I don't.
Yeah, because I don't think there's any, Michael, there's no sidewalks anywhere else out there, you know, is there?
No, not in that part of the business
You
park.
said it wasn't in the plan and there's no, right?
And truthfully, that area of the park is so far out there that, and there's really no immediate residential area nearby that I don't know why anybody would be walking around.
Side for passenger vehicle.
There's one of them by Applied Laser, and that's the only, and then there's one, I'm trying to remember what the business is. It's across from J&D Tube Benders. But it's just, those are the only sidewalks in the entire industrial park. I noticed it last week driving around.
Okay.
Yeah, so,
10 by 18? is
Yeah,
what
that's
code
the-
is?
What is 10 by 18?
Mhm. Anybody else got any questions? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
Move to approve. You want me to read the whole thing?
Second,
We have a motion by Zagami and a second by.
Grant.
It's for both of them, right? Sidewalks and parking lot?
Yes.
Okay. Any more on the discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? So carried. Tim, are you still on?
Yes, I am.
Thank you very much, sir.
Yeah, I appreciate everyone. I mean, this is a big investment, almost $3 million, and using local, local Marathon County people. So this is good certainly good for business. That's why I'm doing it, but also it's good for the community. And, I'm looking forward to basically keeping the money in the community. So I appreciate the help and support.
We appreciate it. Just so you're aware, this has to go to the board. correct?
No.
Oh, it doesn't?
No.
Oh, never mind. We're good to go, Tim. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks.
My apologies. Great. Staff reports, item number 7, report. May 2024, staff approved certified survey maps and site plans. And item 8, May 2024, building permits.
We just acknowledge these. So,
Right.
yeah,
Sure.
motion. Yep,
Yes.
motion to acknowledge 7 and 8.
Second.
Motion by Deason, second by Mumper on the question. Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So carried. Miscellaneous, item number 9, project updates.
So I did not have a chance to put you this before the packet went out on Wednesday. So I did email it out today. And then you have a copy at your desk that you can peruse through. This just kind of gives you an update at where we are with some of the site plans that have come through you guys or the staff over the last probably year and kind of where they're at. So all the ones that we had last year are starting to basically be finalized. Amazon received their occupancy last month. The construction company turned it over to Amazon so they could start putting all their equipment in. My understanding is they're not open yet. I'm not sure when that will happen. I hear that they were starting to kind of put job announcements out there. Somebody told me they saw one on Facebook or something. I have yet to see that. Big things that'll be coming in front of you will be the comprehensive plan update. I know we've been talking about that a lot. They had a little problem. We've been talking about it for a long time. We've had some problems putting the corp, the parks plan into that format. So I'm hoping to see something this week. And then we're gonna just have to review it again and then start it on the approval process. Something from last time, we did have a commercial electrical code performance audit that was done by the state in May. Scott Tatro met with the state auditor. We passed. There was just a few things that needed to be updated on our basically application form that were missing in regards to master electrical licensing that has been taken care of and updated already with Evolve. We did receive Wendy's site plan on Friday, but they were missing quite a bit of stuff already, so it's probably not going to be open for review until later in the week. Carrie followed up with them today. What else are we working on? The 2 plats have been, I'm guessing, recorded. The last one, Green Tree, went on Friday to Marathon County. And they will be starting construction probably on the next couple of weeks on the roads, I think. They were talking about starting on the week of the 17th. So you'll probably see that one come online faster than the Arrowhead Estates. I'm not sure what their construction schedule is.
Unless Gary has a better idea, the utilities look like they probably won't be installed until August, so there's a little more work with that one, with installing the water sewer lines, where Arrowhead is just will be private sewer water systems, but.
And we're still waiting for the letter of credit on that one, so I don't have the development agreement recorded.
You didn't start road construction out there yet either?
No. So the Lockery site has started construction. That was approved last month by the board. So they got their state approvals on Thursday for the rest of the building. Or the rest of construction. So that one you should see going up pretty quickly. I guess the last thing is we're kind of talking with Milt and the town about how to handle the town zoning going forward, and the fact that we probably need a boundary agreement. Jamie and I have been kind of looking into that At one point, Milt kind of wanted to just adopt our code. I don't know if it's as easy as that. So basically staff acts as their zoning administrator. So whenever you guys here have to update, whenever you make an update to the code, and that happens, the ETZs here, we then have to spend time working with them. It's usually every couple of years. They go through them and figure out which ones they want to adopt into their code. So right now, we basically are working with a town zoning ordinance, which is for a very small portion of the town that's left, and then the village and ETZ code. So,
I honestly can't remember the last time we had an ETZ meeting.
well, we haven't done any code adjustments. They'll be kind of coming back. We've just been kind of busy with things too, but we tend to do the code, looking at the code adjustments in like the fall and winter when we're not so into site plans. Where it's a little, we kind of keep a list and then we bring them to you because it's a little bit easier for us to work on them. So, yeah, and I believe the planning commission would be involved in that boundary agreement. That was something that was recommended from the DOA when we annexed in the portion that is going to be Green Tree. So it'll make annexations easier and we just have to figure out there's a couple more ways we can do it.
Okay. Anybody got any questions for Jen?
You stated in here that you don't know what the development will be for the old municipal building.
Not yet, no.
Somebody local buy it or out of town?
Local.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. Anything else for Jen? All right, hearing none, move on to item number 10, announcements and committee commissioner remarks and staff referrals. Gary, do you have anything?
No, I don't, Steve.
All right, feel better.
Thank you, buddy.
Dave,
No, thank you.
Roy? Joe?
Nope.
All right, group tonight. Boucher never has anything, so I don't even know why I'm gonna ask. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, somebody done.
I'm just kidding.
I got something.
How did you mention? Keep your mouth shut.
Do we need a permit for the repairing sidewalk or removing sidewalk?
That's a his permit, if there is one.
We don't require one, no.
Good. That's
It
it.
just needs to be fixed.
No problem.
It's a hazard. I think there's a section in the nuisance code.
I have nothing. Next regular meeting date would be Monday, July 8th, 2024 at 6 p.m. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Please.
Motion by Decent, second by Mumper. On the question, hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So carried. We're adjourned at 6:30 p.m.
Need a Steve.
Thank you.